I'm really big on going home different ways. So where I live, I can walk a lot and just walk to the shops or whatever.
Hey, it's Walter here, and you're at the Think Profit podcast, where we're going to help you develop a rock-solid trading confidence and avoid the potentially endless cycle of system switching. Right, Hugh?
That's right. We're going to help you develop a wealth mindset, develop a trading strategy that fits your core personality, and help you overcome the obstacles that stop over 90% of traders.
All right, Hugh, sounds good. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, Walter, what do you think about doing things a little bit differently during the day, like brushing your teeth with your other hand, stuff like that, in order to get your brain going?
Yeah, I think that's good. I think in some ways, like traders can do that too. Like if you're used to trading the daily charts, what if you started demoing on the 5 minute, just to, you know what I mean? Exercise different muscles and things like that. I think in some ways, the theory of the neurophone or the neurophone that we talked about before in another episode, you guys can go back and find that. We can put that in the show notes. That's meant to kind of activate more of a whole brain, sort of thing. And they say that women have a much, like their corpus callosum between the two hemispheres, they're actually, they have a stronger one. So that's why they often are better at verbally speaking than we men are. And so the neurophone is meant to sort of activate the whole brain and in a way kind of help with that, which is, I think, is what's happening. Like if you tie your right hand behind and you just use your left hand for the whole day to brush your teeth and, make your lunch and whatever, that's kind of the same idea. Is you're kind of just becoming a little bit more. I know it's just spatial, but it's like, it's a way of becoming more whole-brained. And, we really do have a lot of flexibility. We know about neuroplasticity and people who get horrible brain injuries. And then the area of the brain, for example, that is supposed to make your legs move or whatever, that's eliminated. Eventually, your brain will get to the point where you can, start walking again or whatever. Like those sorts of things happen. It's easier when it happens when you're younger, obviously. Mm-hmm. But those sorts of things are possible. So I do think there is something to that. I think also, just looking back on my life, the best times I've had in terms of success and achievements have been when I've stretched, try to do something a little bit harder than, a little bit more uncomfortable. Like being uncomfortable is when I find a lot of growth comes. So that's something that I think people might want to think about. And that in a way, what you're talking about is that, isn't it? Like it's a small little way to, like I'm really big on going home different ways. So where I live, I can walk a lot and just walk to the shops or whatever. So I like to not be a habit and always walk the same way. And you know what I mean? Like go through different neighborhoods or whatever and take a different path and just stuff like that. Because otherwise you end up on autopilot, don't you? Like you just do the same thing. Like if you allow yourself, you will. So it's kind of good to mix it up a bit.
Yeah. If you look at the world just in a little different way, it'll help you see other things differently also, I think. Just open yourself up to new ideas or even new people, like walking home a different way, meet new people. You never know what can happen, right?
Hey there, I hope you're finding this episode useful. I just wanted to let you know that Walter and I give away something valuable every month that helps traders improve their skills. You can enter to win by simply leaving an iTunes review and leaving a comment on our YouTube videos. At the end of each month, we'll look at the comments and reviews from the month, and we'll pick a winner at random. Each comment and each review counts for one entry during the month that it's submitted. So if you're interested in that, be sure to enter after this podcast is over. All right, back to the episode.
Exactly, yeah. And you know what? That you bring up a good point, because that's a technique that you can use in your trading to see yourself. I don't know if I don't think we've talked about this. Like, let's say, for example, this is what I did with myself. I used to always move my stop loss. So let's say you go, okay, I don't want to move my stop loss. In other words, I go, okay, I have 150 pips of risk. Trade goes 130 pips against me. So I go, okay, I'll move my stop loss to 170 pips because it's going to turn around now or whatever. That's bad news, right? Because you never really define your risk. But what you can do is you can see yourself doing that. Imagine you're at your trading station and you're like a fly on the wall, or like from God's point of view looking down at you, or maybe a cockroach on the floor looking up at you. So you see it from a different perspective, you see yourself doing that. And then eventually what you want to do is kind of eliminate that, see yourself stressing out because you keep moving your stop and taking really bad losses. And then you kind of see it in black and white. So it's not so colorful. You can see it in a black and white movie. And then you can just kind of take that movie and just tear it up or burn it and watch the film melt. And it's a way of letting go and saying, okay, that's not me anymore. That's not my, that I don't do that, right? That person that I saw in that movie is making a mistake, and that's not part of me anymore. It's just like a technique that some people use to eliminate old bad habits. Yeah.
No, I think that's super powerful. I mean, I think back to some of the things I've done in the past, and if I was up from the outside looking in, that would have been a pretty ridiculous like situation. Like I would have been laughing so hard, but being in the moment and being in the body, it was serious to me. Being a third party onlooker probably would have looked really ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a great way to see it, seeing it from a different perspective. It's a great way to see it for the problems that are there and to let go of it. So yeah, it's a good technique for people who, if you have like a habit, it can't be like a crazy, terrible habit, it's for the right kind of habit, it can definitely work. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. Thanks, Walter.
Thanks.
All information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not trading or investment advice.